is my 1972 Toyota Corolla T27, and I want to turn it into a daily driver. I bought it back in 2021, sight unseen, from the neighboring province. The car was in rough shape when I got it. It was in project car condition. Needed a lot of work in order to pass an out-of-province inspection to make sure it was safe enough for the streets. It took me about a year to get it running in roadworthy condition. The car hasn't been registered since the early 90s. Since then, it's been sitting, it's moved through a few hands until it came to me. Other than that, I don't really know anything about the history of the car. What I do know about the car is it came with a 1.6 liter 2TG engine, and from what I've heard and read, the 2TG only came in Japanese cars, so it was either swapped or it was built overseas. The previous owner had plans to drag race this car, judging by the modifications he put on it. He converted the fuel system to EFI on an SDS system, probably appropriate for the time, but a little bit old now. ITBs, a racing inline fuel pump, wiring that's so shoddy will burn the car down, and a camshaft that makes this thing chug like a train. The car wouldn't run properly when I first got it, but after a tune, it made about 125 horsepower. There's a lot about this car I love. It has the aggression of an American muscle car with the compactness of a Japanese car. After putting in carpet and fixing the seats, the interior is almost flawless and smells like the 70s. Being a Corolla, I think it's really unique and has a connection with other cars on the road. Some things I like about the car are cool details like the gas cap or the license plate lights. I'm not sure when, but at some point this car got repainted from its original orange color. Maybe I'll repaint it down the road one day, maybe something like a nice green. At the moment, this car is street legal, and after a few test runs I've gotten it to the point where I know it won't break down on me. But I'm terrified to drive this car, it's not me at all. The previous year I daily drove a 1976 Toyota Hilux stock. It was one of the best, if not the best car I've ever had. It was reliable, it was charming, and had just enough problems that I could fix them and learn how to work on cars myself. Sure, the gas pedal stuck like it was in cruise control all the time, but that just made highway driving much easier. I liked that truck because it was drivable and it had a lot of character. It was a pleasure to drive every day, and this car is far from that. The camshafts make the accelerator so touchy it's undrivable. If you start at a light and the road is bumpy, you won't be able to keep control and start rocking ferociously back and forth. When you punch the gas, it's great, and it wants to do that all the time. But cruising, not so much. It has the ranges it likes and it doesn't like. It'll hate the low RPMs in some gears and love them in others. Mids will give you a terrible lurching through the whole car, but when you get past that, it's as if this thing has a turbo and just takes off like a finely tuned machine. I want to make this car as reliable as Toyota used to make them. This will involve me either upgrading or downgrading the car. Like a grandpa car. I want to make it like a grandpa car. Smooth, reliable, and quiet. But peppy, you know. So I can actually hear myself when I'm having a conversation with somebody or hear my music. This may sound like blasphemy to some of you, but it's what I want. I can't even think about starting this project, let alone finishing it, but if I'm going to do it, it's going to be in phases. I think the first phase is going to be the undercarriage, taking everything off, getting rid of all the rust. There isn't even that much. At the same time, I'll have to replace the camshafts, probably just to make it run the way I want it to. Phase 2, if there is a second phase, I'll probably do the fuel system, try my hand at wiring, soundproofing, doing the ECU, some body work and paint. That is far down the road and I don't know when I'm going to get to that. So I made a video and have a car, so that automatically makes me an expert? No, I've never done this before. I have no tools and little experience, so any advice and suggestions are greatly appreciated. I'm just a guy that likes old things and wants to keep this car on the road. Now, I just need to start. I need to start.